came in one day with a list of like actors' salaries for the year, and I was like, oh wait a minute, they get paid for this? I was like, oh, all right. And that literally, you know, because when you grow up with nothing, you feel like if that will make me a little happier, because right now we don't seem to be extraordinarily happy because we don't have nothing. So maybe if I get something, that will do it. But I got that figured out later on.
And for me, I moved to LA. I'm from Northern California. Moved to Los Angeles because my parents thought they were paying for college, but I was like, I want to be a singer. And so this is really funny, Michelle, because I used to say, I'm gonna be Bray Lonce. I was gonna be Bray, but God said, nah, boo. And so my neighbor asked me, I was actually celebrating my neighbor because he's on a McDonald's commercial. I said, oh my God, you got to bite the Big Mac, and that was great. And he was like, whatever. I tell people I live next door to the famous girl who has her own show. I was like, who? Which is? He was like, you. And I was like, oh, you got the wrong one. He was like, no, I thought you were, you know. So basically, he invited me to take a ride with him to his agent's office, and I did. And so I was like, okay. And when I got there, she said, honey, you are wasting your time and my money. You should have been on television. So this woman who saw, now I had a day of acting class. I haven't had a headshot, not a thing. She said, I'm gonna start sending you out immediately. So she sends me out on these auditions, right? I get to these audition rooms and people are sweating and talking to themselves, and I'm laughing like, what's wrong? They just gotta say a few lines. Like, I don't get it at all. I go in on this 10th time to say, Pookie Pie, does my butt look big in these? And then I land a national, international commercial and been working every day since. Now here's the thing. I got the money. The check came in the mail and this kept coming. You know, I didn't know about that residual income. I said, somebody please tell somebody that I'm an actor. So I had that kind of a similar experience. But it was someone, and I always tell people, sometimes you may not know what your gift is, or you're like trying to figure it out, because I thought music was just for me. But there's usually somebody in your life that sees that sees the thing that God has in you, that's constantly telling you, oh, you do hair so good. Oh, your makeup is amazing. Oh, girl, the way you made that bed, you sure you went in the military? There is something that God has put inside of you that you just naturally do, and you don't even realize, you know, and it's that thing you would do for free. You would do, because I said, yeah, they're going to pay me to get on camera and say a few lines and act a fool? Oh, I won't do that. But here's the thing. So it's listen to people for those of you on your radio station, whoever's listening, listen to the people and what they're telling you that you do well. And that you realize, I do it for free, I do it without eating, I do it with no concept of time. That's probably what you should be focused on.
And yeah, for me, I've been acting since I was a kid. Actually, I think when I was like 11, I saw a school play. I was sitting in the audience and they were doing Hansel and Gretel. And I actually just had this urge. I was feeling like, why am I not up there? When did they have auditions? Like, what was this? You know what I mean? And I didn't even know that's what they were doing. So after that, I just started, you know, mapping a path in junior high school, and I started working for the drama department and doing talent shows, and then actually did like a little student film. You know, just things just started coming to me, and my way was just sort of paved. You know, going through academies of prep schools, you know, graduating from art schools, things like that. So I've just been an actor since I was a kid, so it's just been, yeah.
That's all you know.
That's all I know, yeah, that's all I know, yeah, that's it.
Well, singing and acting.
I grew up and was in the creative and performing arts in school. But like I said, for me, kind of knowing what I was excited about and my gift didn't come probably, I think, till a little later on. It's a difference between saying, you know, oh, I love Whitney Houston. I think everybody sang in front of their mirror with a brush, thinking that it was a microphone. My upbringing was a little different. The arts wasn't necessarily celebrated as far as, yes, this is what you should do in life. I was the rebel in my family that decided not to necessarily finish college, even though I enrolled and I went. Everybody's in ministry or medicine, which is amazing because I believe that's my family's calling, is ministry and medicine. And then for me, how he was able to help me to be the one to show my family that there can be ministry and entertainment as well. You know, you don't have to lose yourself. You know, my mother, you know, was afraid of the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing. And I remember saying a prayer, 'cause she stopped talking to me for like a week, when I remember singing background for Monica. You know, she had a song called Angel of Mine. And I used to walk around the house singing that song. Well, because it said Angel of Mine, my mother thought I was talking about the Lord. You know, and I guess you could be. Well, as far as his angels, you know, angel of mine. We all have, you know, God encamps angels to protect us. And I remember praying to God, said, Lord, you're gonna have to open up my mother's mind, her understanding, and let her know I'm gonna be okay. And I thank God that I am okay. There are ups and downs, highs and lows, valleys, mountains, with any career that you decide to do. And I think for me, it was knowing what my purpose was and what I'm passionate about. I think there lies a little bit of your purpose as well. You can be gifted to do something, but are you passionate about, because you gifted, like you said, I can do hair.
Right.
But am I passionate about those hours and standing on my feet? I know I met a neurosurgeon in Columbus, Ohio. We all know neurosurgeons can make 6 digits, 7 digits. She wasn't passionate about it anymore. She makes jewelry now and is the happiest she has ever been. So to me, when you talk about, in the panel I said, everybody raise your hand who wants to be successful. Well, now when you get older and mature, your definition of success is different. So I think that former neurosurgeon, that's her success, because she's doing what makes her happy, you know, and fulfilled.
Amen. 2 more questions.
Dondre, Elisa from Our Reality and Cape Breton University. I wanted to know, what was your biggest takeaway from the Manhood Tour?
Well, I think we have a problem defining what a male is and what a man is. I often encounter sisters who are saying, you know, I'm just done with men, and I often say to them, well, when have you been in a relationship with one? Because if you've been in a relationship with a man, then you wouldn't be done with men. The problem is that most of our sisters who say that they're done with men have actually been in a relationship with males. And those are 2 completely different things. So a male is someone who is generally looking to serve themselves, and a man is generally looking to be of service. So that in and of itself, redefining what those things are, actually defining them for young males, defining them for our sisters is huge, and that's one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest takeaways that people get when they come and see us on the Manhood Tour.
I'm Tamara with Jet Magazine and with Artslow Radio. Outside, you all spoke about having a mission for what you do. Can you touch bases on that again? We couldn't hear your whole answer, so that would be great.
About a mission about what
your
we
mission
do?
of why you do what you do.
I think for me, first of all, I'm in a transition of accepting, you know, just going with the flow of this transition God is doing for me. But I do believe my mission, and I hope I can speak for anybody who has a platform, is to be a light. I don't have a deep theological, semiological, parenthetical Greek. In the Greek, light means, you know, it's just simply to be a light and to reveal who God is in many types of ways.
For me, acting, now that I, you know, have really, you know, took that plunge, and I believe that God gives me these roles and these opportunities because He knows what I'll do with the mic when I get it in my hand. And that is to, again, be a light. And also, I have a platform called Water Walkers, where I encourage people to get out of the boat on their dreams. Because once, you know, I was labeled that actor, I started looking at other actors like, but I can't, and I'm not, and oops, you know. And God was saying, I only require you to do that which I've given you. And I've given it to no one else. No one can do it better than you, Brayley. And so I'm going through this journey. I'm in all these movies, on these TV shows, and he said, now tell it. And I was like, do what? He had to like sit me down and say, tell it. That's when Water Walkers was born. I said, okay, I've got to get my brothers and sisters who have a dream of a business or any kind of business and have them just take that step on out the boat and say, okay, Lord, if I focus on you, there's a whole bunch of, things going on, but we all know the story. Peter did not drown at the end of the day, but he did walk on water. And so, and that's the thing. Y'all can clap. If somebody want to clap, they want to clap in the press room. So that's my purpose. So my purpose for acting, and I believe the roles that God has given me, is to have you all, the press, getting the word out that we want to help people actually live their dreams, live their gifts, and that's the purpose of why I'm an actor now.
Yeah, and I kind of harken right on that. I like to think that Lorraine Hansberry, she had a line in Raising the Sun that always struck me, which was be the answer, And as Dante and I, we were on the panel, we were talking about how how it's hard to have a male image or a positive male image to look up to when you're growing up for a lot of young men. And so one of the things I really wanted to do and try to do in my career is to be the answer, to be an example to my mother. She's always preaching to me to teach men to be men, how to be men, show men how to be men. So I think I've been fortunate in a lot of my roles to try to bring that to my characters, where it'll show a positive image, or at least it'll show a way of how,
Positive ideas.
yeah, exactly, ideas of how we can try the steps that might